Hey everyone, it has been a while since I've vlogged. It's been about 2 weeks to be exact. The last time I vlogged was in Niagara-on-the-Lake or in St. Catharines. I have a lot of stuff I want to update you guys on. The first thing being that May is going to be a challenge-free month. That doesn't mean I'm not working on anything, but I'm not really doing like hard and fast rules like I did in April. On May 1st, you may have noticed that I pretty much fell off the face of the earth because I just needed a break from social media, and I was also volunteering at the Hot Docs Film Festival. So every day I was still waking up relatively early, but I was rushing off to do volunteering. I want to show you my breakfast. It's actually almost noon, so this is kind of like more of a lunch. I made this cabbage and white bean soup. It's kind of like a stew because it has thickened up overnight. We had that for dinner last night and it was delicious. I'm putting this stuff in it. This is the Cholula hot sauce, but the chipotle flavor, which is really good. My mouth is watering as I'm thinking about it. I love chipotle. It's one of my favorite flavors because it is so smoky and spicy, but not like too spicy. So I put a bunch of this in the soup and it actually goes really well. Waking up early. I've completely fallen off of that. I was doing pretty well in the beginning of May when I was still volunteering and such, but because I was always so tired and I was falling way behind with my work, I actually had a few late nights, and now I wake up, I would say between 7 and 8 o'clock. In the grand scheme of things, that's not too late, but because I was waking up at 5 or 5:30 most mornings, sleeping in until even 7 o'clock just feels like such an indulgence. I'm not sure if waking up at 5 a.m. is sustainable for me in the long run, just because the people in my life and my lifestyle is a little bit more of a late night lifestyle. Not so much until the wee hours, but it's very hard for me to get to bed at 9:30, which is the time I need to go to bed if I want to wake up at 5 and still get my 7.5 hours of sleep. But a 9:30 bedtime is tough. It is really tough. It was a sweet spot in April around the time that I recorded my 5 a.m. morning routine video. That sweet spot, I was going to bed on time, I was waking up on time, and it felt amazing. But it only takes a day or two for me to fall off the wagon. And then the rest of the month, I found the latter half of April, maybe the last week of April or so, I was constantly tired because I was in that cycle of accumulating sleep debt and then trying to pay it back. Going forward, unless my husband starts to sleep a bit earlier, or unless there's a stretch of time that I'm not really going out at night or taking a night class, I don't think a 9:30 bedtime is sustainable, and hence a 5 a.m. wake up time is also not sustainable. What I think I can do though is like a 10:30 to 6 type routine, but I also don't want to tie myself down during my time off, because part of the beauty of having this time off and this flexibility is that I can play around with my routine a little bit and not be super disciplined and have these hard and fast rules. So while I love these challenges for self-discovery, I don't want to be on a challenge indefinitely. I just got home. I had to run out to the bank and get some stuff sorted out. Now I am going to try to do some work before I meet my friend for dinner. I'm taking one of my good friends out for her birthday dinner tonight. We're going to be trying a French restaurant that neither of us has been to before, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also going to do a second coat on my nails. I started them this morning, but I only got to put one coat on. I'm using this frosty peachy shade by Julep called Maya. It's really pretty. So this is one coat. It just kind of looks like a mother of pearl type color. I'm also wearing these earrings. I'm a little bit behind on my accessories a day challenge. I haven't been switching it up as much, but I've worn these a few times before and I really like them. I think I got these from the Randolph Street Market in Chicago as well. While I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to multitask and also paint my nails. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the no processed junk food challenge. That challenge went really well. Now that it's May, I have been eating a little bit of what I call processed junk food that I had in the condo from before. I haven't gone out to purchase any new junk food, but I had some granola bars lying around and some protein bars. I ate a bunch of those when we went to watch Endgame because we went to the early show at 10 o'clock and I hadn't had any food yet. So I brought the granola bars with me and I had them before the film started. Endgame we really enjoyed. I don't know if you guys are into the Marvel movies. A lot of people that I've been talking to lately don't really watch that sort of thing, but hubby and I really enjoyed it, and we stayed up late a few nights to watch a few of the Marvel films leading up to Endgame, which is another reason why I was sleeping late and hence waking up late. In terms of what I want to work on in May, I've been giving it a lot of thought, and this isn't going to be a challenge per se, but it's something that I'm working on day to day, and I'm really trying to push myself. It kind of stems from the writing class that I'm taking. I really want to start using my voice more. I talk to you guys all the time by vlogging, but really in terms of my day-to-day interactions with people, I don't talk to a whole lot of people and I don't really try to express myself. I just kind of stay quiet most of the time. I'm pretty introverted. I guess you could say I'm shy, or maybe I have some social anxiety, but I don't really like to get out there and talk to people. I am really trying to change that. I've mentioned before that I wasn't always this way. I mean, I was always introverted and reserved, but I had no problem doing presentations when I was in high school. I used to actually look forward to it, and I would always raise my hand to talk in class. But I've really withdrawn in the past, I guess, 20 years, and it's time to fix that. I don't want to feel that way anymore, just always nervous about talking to people or nervous about talking in front of a group of people. So the writing class really started bringing that out in me again, and I really was enjoying the sharing component of the class. Of course, it's painful to do it. It's really painful to get myself to go to class and then to sit in that room and put myself out there, because the writing that I'm tending to put out, it seems to be quite raw and quite vulnerable and quite, I don't know, full of angst. I don't know if angst is the right word, but maybe I've suppressed a lot of emotions and a lot of pain, and that's just coming out. But my pieces have all kind of got that sadness to them. So it's been a really interesting process for me to read this type of thing out loud in class in front of a group of people. Before, I would get really nervous and anxious about it, but now I'm starting to get a little bit more used to it. I'm also not putting things off that I have to do because I have to speak with someone. So today I had to go out because I had to go to the bank, and I also had to go sort out some investment issues. Normally, I would have put today off until maybe next week, especially this being a Friday. I would have said, you know what, I'm going to take Friday off and I'll go on Monday because I don't really have anything to do on Monday. I'm really trying hard not to procrastinate in cases where I have to talk to people. I really am pushing myself to get all those things done that involve interaction, whereas before I would have put it off until the very last moment. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the project work. So you guys know that I do some work with the industry that I used to work in. I have a long history of working with them, but I've recently picked up some more freelance work. I met this wonderful human being at the Design Exchange when I volunteered there last November. I very recently joined her ghostwriting agency, and I've just picked up a freelance writing project. During my gap year, of course, I wanted to build passive income streams, as I mentioned before, but I also wanted to try my hand at some other types of work, and writing was near the top of my list. I have so many interests and so many things I want to do, and it's nice that I'm slowly making my way through them. I used to get excited about buying things or different experiences like restaurants and such, but now it's a different sort of excitement. I'm more excited about ideas, about learning, and about growing. So that is a big shift that I've noticed since the time that I've been off. Part of me still wants to be relaxed, I guess you could say, where I don't have any obligations or commitments and I can just take this time to relax. But there's that other part of me that wants to grow and wants to challenge myself. And that part is starting to win out now. Happy Mother's Day weekend. It is Saturday and hubby and I are heading to pick up the car. I am wearing the jacket. This is the first time I've worn it since doing that video on my other channel. It was a try on decluttering video and I kept this jacket to try one last time. And today's the day. I'm actually gonna try to wear it all weekend. Wearing it with a really casual outfit. Just flip you guys down. Lulu and Truffle bought me a Pablo cheese tart for Mother's Day, so hubby and I are gonna eat it right now. Hey everyone, it's been a few days. It's actually Thursday today. I want to chat about a few more things. I'm about to make my so-called breakfast. It's 1 o'clock. Next week is my last writing class. So yesterday was my 4th class. I can't believe we've already done 4 weeks of classes. It seemed to go by very quickly, although sometimes I do dread going to class just because I don't know, maybe I'm nervous about sharing. Maybe I just find it difficult to commit to having a number of classes in a row. I just value freedom and flexibility so much more now that I'm not working that I find it hard to commit to stuff and hard to set up dates and oddly enough to plan. I still do plan stuff, but not to the extent that I used to. I used to fill up every free moment, every weekend. But now I am much more relaxed about it. Like today, I didn't really have anything on my list to do. I was gonna go to a yoga class, but I decided not to go to that. I decided to do yoga at home instead. Later on, I am going to be going out. I'm gonna be walking quite far today. I'm walking around 45 minutes to pick up dinner, and then I'm coming straight back home. Hubby and I were supposed to go together, but he has a bit of a later shift today. So instead of us walking there together and eating there, I'm gonna go and grab takeout. This is a drop-in dinner at a place called Depanneur. And I'm worried that if we go after hubby's work, it's going to be really busy and it will potentially sell out. These drop-in dinners are essentially kind of anyone who has a passion for food, a passion for cooking. They, I guess, rent out the space, so to speak. They cook, they charge for the meals, and then Depanneur takes a cut. This like one night pop-up restaurant type thing. But you can do takeout, so that's what I'm going to do today. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Truffle is not feeling well. I knew this was going to happen at some point because throughout the course of his life, he's had issues with his teeth. His last vet appointment was probably a couple of years ago. He had molar spurs and the vet just basically like cut them off. Super quick and easy, and Truffle didn't have to be put under. Thankfully, he seemed to have been fine for couple of years, but yesterday when I woke up, I found that he hadn't eaten all his pellets. That's like his favorite, that's like crack for Truffle. So for him not to eat that, he must be in some pain with his teeth or something must be wrong. So we're gonna take him to the vet tomorrow. We still have some critical care. You basically rehydrate that with water and you have to feed it to the bunny using a little syringe. We did that probably like 4 years ago, and thankfully I documented it on YouTube because I was able to go back to that video and watch to see what I did. I fed him last night and also this morning, and he seems to be taking it really well. Or he might just be really hungry because leading up to the tooth issues, he was eating so much, like non-stop, and he was like a poop factory. Anyway, today's breakfast is going to be yogurt with the usual stuff that I usually put in overnight oats. I'm also going to be having a couple of Brazil nuts. I bought a big bag from Costco, and hubby and I try to eat 2 each every single day. It is almost 2 o'clock and I am still having breakfast. I didn't have as much yogurt as I thought I did, so I was still pretty hungry even though I loaded the hemp hearts and the flaxseed, the pumpkin seeds, the blueberries, the raisins, and all of that good stuff. I also had 2 slices of Ezekiel bread. I put peanut butter on one slice and I put almond butter and chestnut cream on the other slice. Almond butter and chestnut cream are like the perfect pairing. For some reason, it just brings out this buttery flavor of the almond butter and then the chestnuttiness of the chestnut cream. It is so good. I think this is going to be the last bit of food that I have for breakfast. This is about 15 grams of toasted coconut pieces from Costco. But I wanted to pop on to talk about this coat. Okay, so this coat I wore all of Mother's Day weekend. I talked to my sister about it when I saw her on Saturday, and we both agree that just this shoulder area doesn't do anything for me. I was contemplating trying to alter it myself. I really don't want to take it to a tailor and pay a lot of money because I don't know how it's going to end up, and I don't know if after alterations I will end up wearing it, so I don't really want to sink more money into this coat. What I've decided to do after a few days of thinking about it, I'm just gonna let it go. My husband was like, just don't show me because I'm gonna end up rescuing it again. So one day when he's not around, I'm gonna pop it in a bag and I'll just bring it down to our concierge and let it go quietly without my husband knowing. So this coat is going bye-bye. The other thing I wanted to talk about before I sign off, and then I am gonna show you the food that I get tonight, is my experiment with Instagram stories. I wrote about this in my blog post today, which is gonna go up with this video. In that blog post, I talk about what I learned about myself during my April challenge. So while posting on Instagram stories daily wasn't really part of the challenge, it kind of was because I was experimenting with the format and I had committed to posting stories every day. Sometimes the story was just like a little photo, or sometimes it was like a little video clip of me walking. So it wasn't too involved. It was really quick, easy, it was fun. I loved the polling feature because I could ask you guys questions and I could see your responses pretty much right away. That's something I wish YouTube had, was some sort of like polling feature. I think that would be a great feature to integrate into YouTube. It would be so much fun. But what I learned about myself in April is that I don't love being on Instagram every day. I get distracted really easily and I just start scrolling mindlessly, or I'll get like obsessed with checking messages. And I found I was on it all the time, especially in the beginning of the month when I was still learning how to use Instagram stories. I was spending a lot of time on Instagram, and that's time I could be spending writing or creating, recording a video, doing a blog post. All that to say that I'm not going to be posting as frequently on Instagram anymore. I will still be using Instagram. I'm not thinking of deleting my accounts or anything like that, but I'm thinking it will be much less frequent, maybe once or twice a week. I'll go on and check messages and post and whatnot. I got the food. I was the first to order, so yay. It was actually quite busy, so I'm glad I came to get takeout, although now I'm gonna have to walk 45 minutes to get home before we can eat. I went on impulse a little bit, and I also bought a piece of carrot cake for dessert. It looks like it's store-bought, but it looked really delicious, covered in nuts, and hubby loves carrot cake, so I'm sure we'll enjoy that. The food looks really, really good. I got the chicken curry combo, which is chicken curry, dal curry, and the beet curry. So of course we have 2 orders of that, one for me, one for hubby, and then we got 1 slice of the carrot cake to share, and it looks so yummy. We just finished dinner and the food was really, really good. We would definitely go back for another drop-in dinner. Next week sounds really interesting because it's a Dutch Indonesian meal, but hubby's gonna be taking me to Chubby's for my birthday dinner, so we're gonna miss that one, and then perhaps down the road we will go to another one and we'll actually like physically go there, buy the food and eat there. It's a really cute little place, not much seating, and I can definitely see that they would sell out of the dinners. We are back from the vet with Truffle. He is doing really well. He did have quite a long molar spur. Hubby actually kept it, so maybe he can dig it out of his pocket and we can show you guys. He is eating a ton of hay now, so he must be feeling a lot better. That vet is so good with him, very confident with him, and she just like teases him. He's very bossy and like grumpy. That's part of his personality, and she picked up on that pretty much right away. You found it?
Yeah, it's on your phone.
My phone. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but here is the molar spur. So I'm holding it there. So it is quite long. Bunnies' teeth grow their entire life, so they have to eat a ton of hay to grind the teeth down. But sometimes bunnies' teeth are misaligned, so they don't necessarily grind down properly. So they have little bits that grow out like this, and they start digging into their tongue or into their cheek when they eat, and it causes them a lot of pain. So she said this is a huge molar spur, and normally bunnies will stop eating way before they get to this length. So Truffle has probably been dealing with this for a long time. So she suggested that we just come in with him every 6 months to a year so we can check out his teeth. So I guess we will start doing that. Truffle's only been to the vet a few times. The last time he went was 2 years ago. So it took 2 years for this molar spur to develop, but he's lost a bit of weight, I guess because he hasn't been eating very well the past couple of days. And we've been feeding him the critical care, but he was eating so much before, and he's also a very active bunny that he's lost about 20% of his body weight. He's like teeny tiny already. Right now he's only 970 grams, and 2 years ago when we brought him to the same vet, he was 1.22 kilos. So he's lost quite a bit of weight, so he is munching ferociously on his hay now, and hopefully his weight will get back to normal. He's always been quite lean because he's allowed to roam around and he is super active. He's always chasing us and always like digging and just doing all sorts of bunny activities. So he's never caged anymore. We just let him roam free. So that's why he's a little bit on the lean side as it is, but now he is definitely underweight. When I was petting him today, I could feel his spine, so he's lost a lot of weight. I asked if we should give him some more pellets just to get his weight up, but she said they should really just eat hay. So I don't know how he's gonna gain all that weight back just by eating hay, but we'll just give him a ton of that and keep monitoring him. It's the Saturday of the long weekend, and I'm gonna end off the vlog here. Truffle is doing really well. We are just walking to the Royal Conservatory of Music. We're walking up Philosopher's Walk, and it is a beautiful day. So I am going to end off the vlog now. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.